Good afternoon. This is Brad Weber. I'm with Local Umbrella Media. I'm here at the beautiful IQ Podcast Studios in gorgeous Coronado, California. And our special guest today is Alfie Carrero with San Diego Recreational Cannabis. Alfie is the senior manager there. He's also a Marine Corps veteran. So I want to say before anything, thanks for your service. Appreciate that. And
Thank you for your
that's
appreciation.
admirable. So, Alfie, I think you've been at San Diego Recreational Cannabis for a couple of years, right?
Yeah, I started there in August 2018.
Okay, great. So a lot of our readers and listeners are very aware of San Diego Recreational Cannabis, and they're on the top of a lot of our newspapers. So I can't say I've been in this business 35 years, and I've never got more feedback from some questioning it, but more feedback from who are those guys, why are they on your papers, and that type of thing. So one of the things we like to do is promote in our publications the medical aspect, which is a huge part of the cannabis business. Obviously, as a recreational, but maybe you can go into a little bit more about what the public perception is, how you're educating people, and we're going to have a little fun here today. Alfie brought a little goodie kit, so he's going to show you some of the products that can help me personally and all of us, I think, with that part of it. So tell us a little bit more about the medical benefits of cannabis and some other things that you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, as is in the name, the R does stand for recreational. We are a recreational shop, but that's really just the license. We have a recreational license, but in doing that, we're able to reach more people. Basically, we still offer a lot of the wellness products and those products that are for the medical benefits. Basically, the only difference is sort of how many milligrams could be in those different things. And so one example of that would be like tinctures. Tinctures are sublingual drops. So that means you drip them underneath your tongue, hold it for a little bit, and then swallow. And that's one of the biggest wellness products there is. And there's a lot of various medical benefits for that, whether it be, chronic pain. That could be non-cancer chronic pain. It could be arthritic pain. It could be cancer pain, or even other issues like immune related issues. So let's say you had a condition like lupus that causes you a lot of pain. Different things like that you could use a tincture for, and that would be really beneficial. And they come in various ratios. So you have a ratio would be like how many parts CBD, which is cannabidiol. That's sort of the more medicinal cannabinoid, as people see.
You hear about all the time,
right? Yeah. Mostly because it's non-psychoactive,
right?
So if it's non-psychoactive, you're not getting high.
You're not going to abuse it for
to
for the wrong reasons. Yeah,
exactly.
Okay, great.
And the other thing about CBD is you can actually get it from hemp as well, and we actually sell hemp derived CBD. Hemp, as misunderstood as it is, it's not the same plant as cannabis. It's a different plant from the same family. And then that's an interesting one because hemp is actually federally legal. So we do sell both hemp derived CBD products, which are wellness products. Those are for those medical benefits, whether it be a salve or a lotion type of balm product that you could rub. Say if you have elbow pain, for example, you could rub that on the affected area.
That's the one I want.
Exactly.
I need that today.
Yes, we will.
I've been thinking about that for a while. So that's great. Yeah, we had about not too long ago, we had Michael Patterson, who writes our monthly articles that you guys sponsor in the magazine, and it was very enlightening. The guy's brilliant, and he's been in this business for a long time, and kind of went deeply into that. We don't have to go that deeply into it, but you can always, our listeners can watch that podcast with Michael Patterson to get a really deep dive into cannabis and the whole perception of is it used for the wrong reasons and things, and where it's really going. So he's a real advocate for getting the consumers educated on all the benefits, because some people still have, some people I know still have that. You say cannabis and they automatically go to there's a dark space. Yeah, a stigma. Thank you. Absolutely. And it's like kind of time to, there's always, like everything, you got to be responsible. It's not for everybody. There's places for it and places not for it, but it's so mainstream now, and it's so beneficial. I know so many people that use it for the things you talk about, and also for sleep. That's the other thing I'm interested in, because I know a lot of people that say it's amazing for as a sleep aid, more so than Ambien and some of the drugs that have more side effects. So
yeah, absolutely. There's actually I brought a couple of examples, in fact, of edibles that contain CBN, which is another different cannabinoid. It stands for cannabinol, and that's actually like the sleeping cannabinoid.
Okay.
It's not so psychoactive like THC. It really puts you to sleep.
Okay.
So it can feel similar to how a body high feels, in that your body is so ready to go to sleep, like as if you were to have, indica cannabis, for example, but it's really strong.
Okay.
And so
and that's one of the things you brought today?
Yeah, I actually brought two examples.
Hold it up here so we can see it.
This one here is the Camino Sleep Gummy from KIVA. And this is actually our most popular edible that we sell right now. And like how you said, a lot of people that are struggling to go to sleep.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why it's so popular. And we actually noticed an increase in that recently. It could be just because of people became more aware that we had it on the menu, but it really just blows all of our edibles out of the water. And that's because it's 5 milligrams of THC, which is about half of the standard dose.
Okay.
We find a lot of people do really well with that. Just like you were saying, it's something that you don't really want to mess around with too much. You need to be aware when you're using it and know how to use it effectively. And combining that 5 milligrams THC with 1 milligram of CBN, it only takes 1 milligram, and people are finding incredible sleep benefits from that.
So if I didn't have you in front of me, and we have we can talk man to man about this stuff. If I wanted to go to SDRC and ask someone about it, is there a way to get educated, or do you just show up? And do you have counselors, or what do you have for people that need a little more education? And
absolutely. So the way that one of the reasons that we're sort of set apart from other dispensaries is the layout is really geared towards the customer. When you walk in, you get in line if there is a line, but we're running 15 stations. And at each one of those stations, there's a Budtender. And the Budtender is your expert. They are your answers and your information. And you have that one-on-one experience the whole time you're there.
Okay. So I've been there, by the way, and it's just an amazing place to see. It's it looks like going to the racetrack. It's got boards all over the place, but I was there for a business meeting. I didn't have a chance to get in line and actually experience that part as a customer. So now that answers a lot of questions for me. So I'll be in one of these days and have a longer conversation.
Awesome. We look forward to seeing you there. Yeah.
Anyway, well, I know you guys are doing great. We get a lot of feedback. Hopefully we're a part of your growth, and we love partnering with you guys. And I know you're growing.
Absolutely.
Business is good. You're growing. Yes. Consumers have taken to you guys and how you treat them, and tell us a little bit more about how things are going, what your expansion plans are, and things like that.
Yeah, definitely. So we have 2 locations right now, one in Mission Valley and one in Sorrento Valley. And we actually just launched the Sorrento Valley delivery website. So that's already one expansion we're currently doing, is upgrading our delivery systems and trying to reach more people in their homes. They don't have to go out if they don't want to.
Right.
As well as being able to reach those people that do have really debilitating medical issues that can't really leave their homes.
Right.
We want to be able to reach those people too. And so launching that second website, I think, really gives us a better way to do that. And then on top of that, we are expanding more north, and we're actually going to be eventually opening more locations. It looks like we're probably going to be opening in Hemet, as well as Palm Desert.
Great.
Possibly Riverside and Paris as well.
In the next year or so?
It looks like
really?
In the year.
That's amazing.
Hopefully within 2021.
That's great. How far north do you deliver now? I know we just started doing our Encinitas, Solana Beach papers up there, and you guys are sponsoring those areas. So I assume you're going up there soon. We'll be going up there.
Yeah. So we try to we do have those maps on our delivery page. So if you want to know if you're in the region, you can check those maps. But also, we don't charge a delivery fee. We just have a minimum order.
Okay.
Right now, sort of like the most that the minimum order goes to, I think, is $200 minimum.
Okay.
So that would be 20 miles. So we can go 20 miles north or south of either location.
Okay. So that's why Encinitas Del Mar, those places are well within reach of that Sorrento Valley location.
That's right.
That's awesome. show us some more stuff.
Absolutely.
You want to pick a couple things and
So these are actually two of the other really popular edibles. Again, like I was saying, the 5 milligram dose seems to be really, really popular. And I brought a couple examples of those. This one's called the Uplift Gummy from Plus. This one's sort of more of like the mood enhancer. You can use it if you're going to like a concert or something like that. It would be a really safe dose.
Okay.
Obviously we're not advising anybody to do their own transportation while taking edibles, but if you have safe transportation, this is a great option. And then basically the equivalent of that is this Pineapple Express. It's a 5 milligram dose from the same company, but because this one is the plus strains, it means that it's using the actual terpene profile of this specific strain, which is Pineapple Express. That's a really popular strain.
Okay.
For people who consume cannabis frequently. And so getting that exact terpene profile, like if that's one of your favorite strains, now you have it in edible form. Okay. And if anybody doesn't know, can I tell?
Absolutely.
So terpenes, yeah, absolutely. So terpenes are just aromatic compounds that are found in just almost all plants. And they have a lot to do with the taste and smell of plants. But in cannabis, it also sort of determines the feelings that you're going to get. Okay. So people, if the difference between you love one strain, like maybe you love Blue Dream and you hate Granddaddy Purple, well, you're getting the same cannabinoids from each of those strains, but the difference is the terpene profiles. Okay.
Interesting.
And there's a lot of different terpenes and they all have different aromas and effects.
Wow.
And a really good rule of thumb that people should know is if you smell a strain and you really like it, that high will probably really agree with you well. Wow. And if you smell a strain and you absolutely don't like the way it smells, I do not recommend
that simple.
It. Yes.
Wow. Is there a term for like sommelier for wine? And tell me some other ones.
I know exactly what you're saying, and I'm not sure, but I call myself an enthusiast. I'm a cannabis enthusiast.
Okay. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of people who would probably use that term, but anyway, it's obviously you know your stuff, so that's good to see. Let me see what Sarah's saying here. I'm sorry. Oh, Sarah, thank you very much. What about weight loss? Sarah wants to know. Not that she needs it, but
that's actually that's an incredibly good question. So there's one cannabinoid called THCV, and it's not in a lot of strains. Wow. But it is an appetite inhibiting cannabinoid. Okay. It's probably one of the most rare ones. But there are certain terpenes that do increase the munchies. So obviously if you wanted to still consume but not get the munchies, stay away from it's usually indicas because they have more of the body effect. Okay. So stay away from it is extremely public which terpenes have which effects. Okay. Leafly is a great example of a place to find those. But as far as the weight loss, you would be looking for strains that contain THCV. Okay. And then the other thing is just because it's the same strain doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to have been raised in the same environment. And environmental factors are the biggest factors in determining the cannabinoid levels and the sort of the expression of those. Got it. Genetics.
So do you have a team there at SDRC, that looks into, like you said, the sourcing where you get it? I mean, is there, or you kind of let someone else do that research for you and you follow the research? Or do you have your own team where you go out to the farms and check this stuff out? Or
that's a really good question, actually. So our license is a retail license. Okay. And sort of the way the industry works is there's a few different licenses that are all working together to make the same thing happen. Okay. So you have the cultivation licenses. Right. Those are the growers. And they're the ones that are figuring out all the best ways, the best environmental factors, the best way to do curing, all that stuff. And then you have, manufacturers and distribution companies. So manufacturers are maybe the people that take the cannabis and make their edibles or their tinctures or their balms or things like that. Okay. And then you have the distribution companies. They buy from those companies and then sell and deliver to the retailers. Okay. So our job is really to make sure that we're having those meetings, those face-to-face connections with the people that we're going to bring on to put their product on the shelves. Right. And they're the ones that are going to have sort of all of their information about what they're doing differently, why we should have their product on the shelf. Okay. And we are, as big as our menu is, we take that extremely seriously.
I'm sure you do. Yes. So your job is to make sure you're supplying consumers with what they want and need. in a responsible way.
As well as making sure that this product has been certified authentic.
Exactly.
And that's done in labs.
You check the boxes and make sure it comes from the right places, but you don't actually go out and source it. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, they bring it to us.
Yeah.
They want to be an SDRC.
Exactly. I'll bet they do. Yeah. Yes. I've been in there, and it's an incredible experience. Everyone should go down there just to see it.
Absolutely.
But wait in line, get some great information. So most of the stuff, I know you have a website and it's got a lot of things on there, but if you're looking for that deep dive into different strains or different things, you can go to other websites. You mentioned Leafly and some other ones like that.
Absolutely. Okay. And again, taking that time to come see a Budtender one-on-one, they're experts. Okay. And they are there to answer.
Okay. What time frame should a person, when they show up and want to ask questions? Obviously it depends on how many questions they have, but I mean, can you go in there and get it out in a half an hour or so? Okay.
We're open 9 to 9. I would say probably, if you're like, I have a lot of questions, I'm going to need some good one-on-one time.
Okay.
I would recommend getting there a little earlier, like maybe 9:30, right after that morning rush, because there is a line at the door when we open.
Okay. So that's pretty much get in line, and you get there when you get there. You know, it's not like you have counselors sitting there.
They're ready. We're there for you.
But it's first come, first serve.
Yes, so absolutely.
Go right away. Yes. Get in line right away. Exactly. Sounds good. Anything else? Do we see all the products? Do we have anything else?
So we have other things. So this is one of the muscle rubs that I was talking about, something that would be a good topical option for you.
Well, that's for my elbow pain.
This would be great for your elbow.
Okay. Great.
This one is one of those hemp derived CBD products. So that's something that doesn't contain cannabis. You could take this on a plane. You could go anywhere in the US with it. As well as this is a disposable vape that's also hemp derived CBD. So this is the same thing basically as far as which cannabinoid is giving you that medical benefit. But having it this way is more for like somebody who has problems with really bad anxiety or PTSD, that sort of thing. Taking a couple of puffs of this would absolutely alleviate some of that.
Great.
Again, you know, there's different methods and everybody responds to different methods differently. And in fact, I always tell people, you know, even edibles, like let's say you love edibles, if you have one edible and you feel like it works really well for you today, tomorrow could be a little bit different. So always use caution, consider, what did I eat today? Am I hydrated? Am I rested?
Yeah, it's not that simple. The human body is really complicated. The human mind's really complicated. And even the treatments are complicated too. So it's got to be the right fit, and things can change. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Well said.
And then one of the other products is this tincture. And this one is an 18-to-1 ratio. So something like this, it's 18 parts CBD to 1 part THC. Something like that would be great for somebody who's looking for the benefit with the synergy of having both THC and CBD.
Okay.
That's going to come from those cannabis products instead of those hemp products.
Okay.
The cannabinoids work synergistically, sort of like vitamins. So, you know, if you needed more calcium, you'd probably also want to take more magnesium.
Okay.
So that your body can use that calcium better. And that's sort of the idea with these ratio tinctures is we know that you need the CBD for your aches and your pains and, you know, things like epilepsy it helps with, things like anxiety, like I mentioned earlier, even just winding down enough to get ready for bed. But adding a little bit of THC is a way to keep you from getting high at such a low dose, but still promoting that synergistic benefit. So
wow, this is you know, there's a lot to learn.
There
really is. So a lot of trial and error, a lot to learn. We've got a couple more things here.
Yeah, these I brought one each of the ratios of the Papa and Barkley bombs. One is 1 to 3 and one is 3 to 1. So the 1 to 3, usually the first number is always CBD. So the 1 to 3 means that it has more THC in it than CBD.
Okay.
That's better for ouch. That's what I always tell people. Like if you have ouch, use the 1 to 3 with the more THC.
Okay.
You know, you got to explain, if I put it on my elbow, am I going to get high? Probably not. Using a topical, it's not going to go through like the epidermis and the dermis and get into the bloodstream at a quick enough rate to become psychoactive. However, if you were to, you know, to have full transparency, if you were to put this in the microwave, for example, and use it like a body oil and use the entire bomb, it might get you high.
Okay.
Then you have the 3 to 1. This one, again, CBD is usually the first one. 3 to 1 means it has 3 parts CBD, 1 part THC. That's better for like illness related things. So I mentioned lupus earlier. Lupus can cause a lot of pain and discomfort, and it's chronic. And that in that case, you would want to go with the 3-to-1.
Wow.
Even some people who have arthritis find that the 3-to-1 works better.
Wow.
But in my opinion, I always recommend trying the 1-to-3 better if it's just ouch.
Okay. Well, your website's a good first stop.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
you can get to the other information by going to and it's SDRC.com.
Yeah, San Diego Recreational Cannabis.
The full
Yes.
San Diego Recreational Cannabis.com.
Yes.
And you can find not only your products there.
Yeah, we have the full menu on there. Not all items are going to be available for delivery at both locations, but they are all available to see what we have, and the full selection is
great. Yeah. Great. Well, Alfie, anything else? Sarah, I've got to look to you too. I mean, that was a great question. Any other? Nothing else, huh? We lost thing. Okay. Well, we answered that question for you. So thanks for asking that. Anyway, Alfie, it's been a great pleasure to have you.
Absolutely.
Thanks for coming. Love to see the products. I'm going to go back in when I have more time and go as a consumer versus a business to business relationship and do that counseling, because obviously I need it.
Absolutely.
I don't have any answers to a lot of questions. So this has been Local Umbrella Live. I want to thank our sponsors, Attorney King, of course, Quan Casino, Indian Motorcycle, the gym, and IB Fitness. Thanks to all your sponsors. Thanks to our advertisers in the newspapers. Thanks especially to SDRC just for not having Alfie show up today and educate us on this, but also for being a loyal sponsor to our publications and our media company. We love the partnership with you, and we will send a lot of people your way, learn a lot about cannabis and the whole industry that you've explained so well today. That's our show. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you next week on Local Umbrella Live.